Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. I am punch drunk on the presence and love of God today. So I'm going to try and do a coherent video, but I can't promise. Yeah, I haven't shared so much about my personal spiritual path, but I'm an ecstatic for a long time. I have this sort of explosive joy, bliss, love of God. That's kind of what led me to non-duality, is wanting that connection to be permanent, that experience. And of course, the ecstatic experience is most likely not going to be permanent, but the presence, that's the promise of non-duality, that the presence of God can be permanent. The awareness of God's presence. And that's why I don't teach, friends, because Ramana described 3 samadhis, 3 unions. I don't, maybe I'll look up the Sanskrit. Yeah, maybe I won't. One samadhi was where the whole world disappears, where the senses just shut off and you're just united. And I've had moments of that. It's very intense, very wonderful. There's samadhi with effort, and there's sahaj samadhi, effortless or natural, the natural samadhi. And that's the goal of enlightenment, is effortless. And so I haven't attained that. So yes, the presence of God comes spontaneously, and that's sahaj. Like right now, there's still just an ever so efforting, but it's very, very minor. But so even technically, that's not sahaj. Very close, though. I've had, hours of sahaj samadhi, but it wasn't permanent, so it really wasn't sahaj samadhi. God is in the details. So the thing is someone recently left a comment asking me not to respond to comments anymore. And saying, you should stop responding to comments and you should start teaching non-duality. But if I were to teach non-duality, and it, to me, teach means give individual guidance or tell people what to do, right? Let's be really clear. That's what's going on in most satsangs. The teacher is telling people what to do. And worse, giving individual guidance to some people. I'm not qualified for that because I don't abide in effortless samadhi. And I say any teacher who does not abide in effortless samadhi and also hasn't cleaned up their personality shit is not qualified. They may be qualified to blast people with Shaktipat and maybe to talk about the topic, but to instruct someone, I'm not. And I'm trying to think if I've met a single, and I've been around the block, I don't think I've met a single satsang teacher who I consider qualified to instruct people. Probably Amachi, but she doesn't do a lot of individual instructing. Maybe she does with her inner circle. Yeah, I think I have a lot of respect for James Schwartz and his crew. So I'd say he's an exception. But you have to find out for yourself. But other than that, but enough about that. So, Ramana Maharshi said, and I'll have to paraphrase, that first you practice self-inquiry, then it becomes effortless. So for anyone, and continuous and effortless. So for anyone for whom it is not continuous and effortless, they're not, let me put it this way, I wouldn't look to them as a teacher. You're welcome to, but I wouldn't. So, and the person who asked me to teach, I've already said, like, go read Ramana's Upadesha Swaram. I've said it so many times. Go practice karma yoga, bhakti yoga. Read James Schwartz's book, The Essence of Enlightenment, and look at Shankara's prerequisites for self-inquiry and start working on those. And that's not my teaching. That's Shankara's teaching, and that's Ramana's teaching. Yeah. So enough talking. Let's just soak in the presence, the grace. All around us, the beloved, our source. We're swimming in a sea of presence and love. Let's take off our wetsuit and let the warm love liquid in. So let me rephrase. It's not my job or my place to say who should or shouldn't teach. But I wouldn't look to anyone as a teacher who was not in effortless, continual abidance. I wouldn't look to anyone as a teacher who, without checking out their personal life. And I wouldn't look to anyone as a teacher who teaches everyone self-inquiry. Oh my God. Well, it's just they're doing their own thing. They've stepped away from the Bhagavad Gita and Ramana Maharshi and Shankara, and they've started their own tradition. And that's cool. But let's just be clear, that's what they've done. And I wouldn't look to them as a teacher. You can if you want. But I chose the image for this video because non-duality is about deconstructing your sense, your sense of reality. And I would only, just as I would want the best doctor to operate on me, I would want the best teacher to help me in that. Biggest mistake of my life spiritually, and of course I've learned so much from it, was thinking just because someone has Shaktipat, just because I feel elevated in their presence, means they're a worthy teacher. Anyone whose Kundalini is activated will emanate Shaktipat. That doesn't mean they're complete. And speaking of complete, I feel mostly complete with this channel. At least the way I've been doing it, I feel complete with non-duality. Not like complete, I'm done, but I'm just into loving God and being loved, letting that love in. I'm into having a relationship. Adi Shankara worshipped God. He was quite the bhakta. That's how little we know about Advaita Vedanta. That statement sounds radical. What? Shankara worshipping? But he was quite the devotee. Quite the devotee. So good luck, troopers. And who knows what's next? God only knows. Not saying I won't make another video, but I don't know if I'm going to talk much about non-duality. And I'm very grateful to everyone who can buy this channel. And one of my spiritual heroes, Bruno Gröning, said, there is no life without God. What I understand that to mean is